Hi everyone. Thought I'd take you with me today. I got a few days of riding ahead of me, so this is going to be the only one that I'm going to take you with me, but I thought, what the heck. I've also brought something along. I think you'll get a kick out of this. So I think that's going to be some fun. I'm going to wait until I get a little higher in altitude before I break out the drone and fly it around a little bit. I was thinking on the way up here, there have been a couple of reports of some bears, obviously, and I heard a report of a hunter that was killed by a bear. He was, they figure he came in between, a mother and cubs sort of thing, that were feasting on a dead animal, so that's unfortunate. He had his gun with him, he's a hunter, right? So that's something that it's never been a real issue for me, but you would be foolish not to think of that. And so I was looking for my bear spray when I left the house. Now, I don't normally take it that often. I'm not even sure where it went. I think it's probably a false sense of security anyway, but it's kind of one of those things, if you have it, you probably should take it. I couldn't find it anyway. And then I started thinking, all these places that I go with my trusty steed. This is the first day with the new machine off-road. I got it this summer. I didn't really make any videos about getting the bike, but anyway, all the places that I go are places that my father and my brother and I used to go to get firewood when we were kids, teenagers, whatever. And we never ever paid any attention really to bears. I mean, we went into bear country essentially. And I thought, that's interesting that a guy with a gun would end up getting killed by a bear. And we didn't pay too much mind when we were getting firewood. And I thought, you never really hear of anybody getting attacked by a bear with a chainsaw. Just an interesting observation, although I'm not sure where the bears would get the chainsaws. In any case, I'm going to have a little bit of lunch here and relax and enjoy some peace and quiet. And then I'll fire up the drone a little bit and we'll go for a ride. All right, so here we are back again. Many of you have heard me talk in the past about how I grew up. I'll use the term grew up loosely, kind of off the beaten path. And this actually is quite a ways up a road that I used to live on back in the day. No running water, no electricity, all that good stuff. Anyway, I'm going to get the drone assembled and then we'll go for a little flight. Let's go, shall we? Well, wouldn't you know it, that last road that I was on, I was flying the drone, and I never run into anybody when I'm up here. Unless I'm in an active logging area, and I try not to go to active logging areas if I can help it, because it's kind of a pain. And here comes this guy. So, trying to land my drone, it was getting low on juice, and here he comes along. He's like, "Are you okay?" "Yeah, I'm okay." "What's that?" He sees me with the controller. I said, "Well, I'm just bringing my drone down." "Oh, do you mind if I have a look?" So anyway, we exchanged information. He's on the road because he actually has a cabin way down. There's a lake down there, and it's pretty remote. And he was going to town or something. So we exchanged information. That's always a good thing anyway, I think. He could probably always use a mechanic, and I think it's always good to know people who live in a nice remote cabin down by the lake. So that may work out for the best. Anyway, I'm going to try and fly this drone again here, see if I can get some better footage, see if I can do it alone. Oh, and incidentally, speaking of bears, the fellow that I had met had said, "You know, my cabin's just down the road here if you want to go and have a look." Apparently his girlfriend's still home. He's headed the other direction. It's pretty trusting, but that's the kind of area we live in here. So I did. I went down the road, you know, down the switchbacks, down towards the lake to find this guy's cabin. And I think I found his driveway. And I was actually going to stop there and maybe fly the drone there near the lake shore. But there was an awful lot of bear scat right on the road, and it had a lot of really fresh red berries in it. So it's pretty fresh. So I thought I better not stick around. I haven't seen any bear scat for a while now. I've climbed quite a bit. I'm near the top of the mountain now. So I think I'm okay. I'll just keep my ears peeled. All right. Oh, that's fun. So I was going to do some commentary on this video. I was going to talk about some things that I was thinking about. But it's just so beautiful and peaceful here. I'm going to skip that and just enjoy some quiet time. So I'm about to sign off. I'll make this into some semblance of a video at some point. And I appreciate everyone coming along. Hopefully you've enjoyed the little bit of fun with the drone and something different for a change. For any of you who were not subscribed to me last year about this time, I made another video where I strapped some GoPro cameras to my motorcycle and went for a ride just to show anyone who was interested the kind of country that I'm fortunate enough to ride in. If you haven't seen that and you're interested, I'm going to post a link to that below because it's quite a few videos ago now. And for any of you who want to see that, you're welcome to check it out. Listen to that. Thanks for watching. Well, that was going to be it. And then I ended up finding this deactivated road, which is one of the things I like the most, because when you're on these roads, swinging around here, you can see up that way, they trench them so that really only quads, ATVs, motorcycles can get through them. And I've been up it quite a bit further because I knew that I probably wouldn't see anybody. And you can tell through the ruts where the mud is if there's been any tracks there, and there hadn't been any tracks either. So I knew that I was going to be not interfacing with any people up here. However, I did just end up chasing a black bear up the road. I don't know, about 7 or 8 kilometers. There was nowhere for me to turn around, and he was ba-bump, ba-bump, ba-bump up the hill. And so I just had to follow him for a little bit till I could find a spot. I mean, in a pinch, if he turned on me, I would have had to, spin the bike around, but I didn't really want to do that. And he was quite a ways ahead of me. So I just kept at that pace until I found a spot where I could turn around. And I want to fly the drone one more time. So I thought, well, I'm going to come way down the road so that I don't have to worry about the bear again. Not that one anyway. And so I can fly the drone one more time. So the road is not quite as deactivated here as it was up the hill. I could barely tell where the road was. And I actually prefer to ride those roads if I can, because again, I usually know that I'm not going to run across anybody, hunters or anything like that. Usually partially, again, because I can see their tracks through the ruts. So I'm going to fly again. Flying a little weird. I think even the drone is scared of the bear. All right, well, all packed up for the day. As you can probably tell by the long shadows, it's late afternoon. It's getting time to get out of here before, while I still can, I guess. That last flight, I couldn't get a good GPS lock. I only had 4 satellites, and normally that's what you're supposed to do, is get a satellite lock as a home position before you fly off. Usually takes 7 satellites. That way, if you run into trouble, it's got its home position locked, and it can fly back to that home position. You could even switch off the controller, and the drone will fly back and land itself in the home position if it loses connection with the controller. And I couldn't get a good satellite. The trees are too narrow here. The road's too narrow. And so I thought I would fly up above the tree line and see if it would lock on with the additional satellites, which it did. And I'm not sure if it even registers that as a home position then, or what happens. Either way, it didn't get a very good lock because I flew it up the road, as you'll see from the footage. I flew it up the road. I was trying to see if the bear came back onto the road. And then I thought I would fly up and have a look at some of the mountains in the area and that sort of thing. And I was going to go much higher and much farther, but it was behaving very strange. Even when it was out of view, I could hear it, and it sounded strange. It kept going, yeah, you know, it was making kind of funny sounds. And I thought, you know, I better bring it back. And then it became unresponsive for a couple of moments. I had a little bit of a panic because normally if it becomes unresponsive, I switch the controller off, which turns it into return to home mode, and it will actually start heading back this way. And then I switch the controller back on and reconnect, and I can take over again. There's other things you can do as well if you lose connection, but my screen was also getting staticky, so I couldn't even see which direction I was headed. So I was kind of flying blind. So I thought I'd better bring it back, and you'll even notice from when I was bringing it down, it did not want to behave properly. So I think that's just a matter of not having enough of a satellite lock, and I may need to recalibrate the compass again. But it's fun either way. Anyway, I'm going to get down out of the mountains now in time for some dinner and a soak in the hot tub. Thanks everyone for watching. Thanks for coming along.